Welcome back, Queen, to another episode of According to Annie. I am Annie, your host, bringing you once again the goods. I'm so excited to be dropping on in with you today. How are you? How are you feeling? Do a little check in with yourself right now and just close your eyes down, see how you're feeling. I do this with my clients all the time, and I say to them, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at today? 1, you want to go back to bed, and 10, you are fucking vibing, loving life. And, it really varies. And the reason that we do this is just purely because we want to bring attention to our body and just do a little check in because we are on autopilot so often. And it's nice to just do a little check in. So we don't judge ourselves on what scale we're sitting at. It's purely just for us to deepen our connection with ourselves and just feel into it, to just give ourselves permission of being at a 5 or being at a 1 today. Being like, yeah, today sucks. Yeah, today sucks. I'm at a 1. So let's delve into today's episode. I'm excited. Today's episode has been inspired by a recent conversation that was had in one of our masterminds. And I think it's really, really important that we talk about it because I think it's very easy to get so caught up in all of the things, thinking that all of the things are going to make you successful. And that's not always the case. So let's delve into it and let's see where you stand on this. And maybe this is some permission that you needed to hear for yourself. Maybe you don't agree. Whatever it is, take it all with a grain of salt and just know that this is my perspective and my opinion. And you get to be a free woman in business and you get to decide and do whatever feels good for you. All right. But from my personal experience of being in business, this is my take on it. So, what is the topic? The topic is to TikTok or not. So, this came up in one of the masterminds that I run for salon owners. And she dropped on in to our private channel that we have. And she said to me, it's been suggested to me that I should be using TikTok in order to gain a bigger audience, but it just seems like another thing that I have to be all over. Who here feels exactly the same? It's like threads come out and it was like, oh my God, now I've got to like have another platform. And then it's like, now we've got TikTok and now we've got Instagram and now we've got Facebook and then we've got LinkedIn. Like there's a lot of platforms that we can be using, right? And it gets a bit confusing, it gets a bit overwhelming, and it's like, what should I be using? There's not enough hours in my day to be like accessing and sharing on all of these platforms. But as she was dropping it into the chat, right, something that I'm really, really big on in my world, and if you've been here for a while, you'll know this because I talk about it all the fucking time. You're probably sick of hearing me say it, but I'm going to keep saying it until more people understand it. But if you are new here, then this might be a new perspective for you to think about. And so as she wrote it in the chat box, I really tuned in to her words and the energy that was behind the question that she was asking me. And I know these women really well. They've been in my world for a long time. Women that come into my elite mastermind as like the top tier of my mastermind have usually been in my world for a little while to be jumping into a mastermind. That's of the elite tier. And so I can read the language quite well with the women and feel into their energy quite well. And so as I was reading her question, I was like, interesting. And so my response to her was that just because it's been suggested to you doesn't actually mean that you need to do it. So I said to her, it's really less about what you should, and air quotation marks, right? Should do, and more about how does it actually make you feel? Yeah. How does it make you feel? Does creating content for TikTok like light you up and you're so fucking excited by it? And you're like, oh my gosh, yes, I love it. Like I want to create from this space. Like, yes, yes, yes. So good. Or do you think about TikTok and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, another thing that I have to fucking do? Ugh, I can't be fucked with that, but I think I have to. So I guess I'll just add it to my to-do list and overwhelm myself even fucking more, right? So tune in when you get these suggestions, right? Everyone has amazing suggestions for our businesses, and what works for one might not work for another. Yeah, like I don't do TikTok. I have no interest in TikTok. Could it grow my business? Yeah, I have no doubt that it could grow my business, but I have no interest in using the platform. And this will probably be a very unpopular opinion, because a lot of people would say to me, "Oh, you're leaving money on the table." Yeah, maybe I am. But you know what? My fucking soul is so much more important than leaving money on the table, as far as I'm concerned. I would rather nurture my soul and my spirit than make a fuckload of money, because I've been in that situation. I've been the person that has focused on the money while I absolutely killed my soul. And I refuse to go down that path, because the only thing that eventuates is, yes, a bank full of fucking money, but you are fucking miserable. You are so miserable. You are in burnout, and it has no difference how much money you have in the bank, because your body is physically exhausted and so out of alignment. So it is going to be an unpopular opinion. And, if you've been investing in all of the social media courses and platforms and things like that, they're probably going to tell you very opposite to what I'm telling you. And if you're listening to this episode and it's not landing for you, turn it off. It's okay. Yeah, I'm not going to be offended by it. I'm purely sharing from my perspective of being in business for over 10 years now. And I refuse to build a business that's out of alignment. I refuse to build a business in a way that everybody else tells me to do without it feeling good. And I invite you to do the same. Yeah, like we didn't go into business to build it out of alignment. We didn't go into business to create something that we fucking are so resentful of. Yeah. So I want you to remember that if it does light you up, amazing, do it. Yeah. Because I talk about energy all the time. So if it's lighting you up, then it's going to be successful. If it's not lighting you up, the content that you create is not going to land. Like, it's not going to land. You could give me TikTok, and you could give another salon mentor TikTok. He absolutely loves it. I despise it. We both share the exact same content, right? I guarantee that she's going to take off with her business rather than mine, because her energy is behind it. And so I want you to think about the exact same thing. You might be looking and seeing in competition your sisters that are like killing it on Instagram or killing it on TikTok, and you just want to stick to Facebook. Like, give yourself permission to do what feels good for you. Because if your energy behind it is not behind it, it doesn't matter how much content you post. It's going to fall flat, because everybody feels energy before they actually see anything. Yeah, it all happens on a subconscious level. And so I reminded her that there is many different ways that you can grow a business, and TikTok is just one option. And if it's not a platform that you want to entertain, then that's also okay. Because I know reading her question was less about should I be implementing it, and more about I don't want to. Can you give me permission to not use it? Is really what her question was. Yeah, I could feel that in her question. And as soon as I said that to her, like I could feel the relief. I could feel the relief. It was like this permission was granted, because she wasn't able to give that permission to herself. Yeah. Now, if someone else came to me and they said they love TikTok, amazing, cool. I'm going to support you in it because you love it. But if you don't love it, bum, scrap it, babe. Scrap it. Don't do something that does not feel in alignment for you. So many other ways you can grow a business. Don't do something that does not feel good. Okay. I want you to remember that Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, like these are all tools, right? They're all tools that are available to you if you want to tap into them. Yeah. They're tools, and that's all they are. I know that it's very easy to get caught up in all of the platforms, and you should be across all of them. But like I keep saying, if it's not lighting you up, fuck them off, right? Remember that there was actually a lot of businesses that were really successful before social media started. Before social media started, businesses were thriving. So don't get caught up thinking that the only way to grow your business is to be across all these platforms or to even be on social media. You can grow a successful business without social media. It's been done in the past and it can still be done today. It just might look different. You might need to do things differently. You also need to tap in and think about where is your ideal audience as well. Yeah, where are your ideal clients? Think about like top platforms. Like for example, say like Porsche. We use Porsche or like Lamborghini. There is no ad commercials talking about Lamborghinis, right? If you look at like ad commercials, there's like, Toyota, Nissan, Honda. I can't even think of them all. And I'm a car girl, so I'm like gone completely blank. So those kind of brands makes are on TV, right? They're using commercial. But Lamborghini was like, our ideal audience is not watching fucking TV. Yeah. They are out living a fucking incredible life and they are not bogged down watching TV, watching ads. So this is where it's like, there's a market, right, where they could, or a story they could have subscribed to of like, oh, but everyone does commercials on TV. Like, oh, maybe we should do that because that's what everybody else does. But they were so strong in their conviction. They knew what their mission was. They knew what their vision was. And they did not subscribe to how everybody else does business. Instead, they actually created their own fucking rules. And so this is what I want you to do. I want you to tap in. Are you being the salon owner that's the Toyota brand, or are you being the salon owner that is the fucking Lamborghini brand that doesn't actually have to follow the old ways that everybody else is doing to market to their client? Because a Lambo person literally wouldn't be watching TV. They would be making so much money that their quality of life, their lifestyle, their priorities would be very different to the person that is wanting to drive the Toyota. And this is not good or bad, right? I just want to emphasize that before all the haters jump on in and they're like, oh, you're, picking apart people that drive Toyota. I'm not doing that. I'm merely getting you to understand from a business perspective. Yeah. So for me personally, I know that I just want to pour all of my energy into one platform, right? And so my energy gets poured into my Instagram. And then from there, I have other outlets that I can tap into, like Facebook, my podcast episode, for example, my email list. But I just repurpose a lot of stuff with different swangs. Like, for example, this episode that I'm talking to you about today about TikTok, this has already gone out as an email, but I've elaborated more on it. And then it's also been an Instagram post. But again, it has been like tweaked because obviously I have less opportunity to be able to speak, as opposed to this episode that I'm recording right now. I can really elaborate a lot more on this topic. And so for me, that's what feels good for me, because I know what my energy can sustain. And I know that spreading myself across all platforms is going to actually not let me show up in the way that I should show up. And that's a disservice to my clients. That's a disservice to the people listening to this episode. That's a disservice to the people reading my Instagram posts. And that is not the standard that I hold for myself. Yeah, I hold a very high standard for the quality and the experience and the expectations on what I bring to the table for my people coming into my world. And so as a result of that, I know that I'm not going to go down the path of planting myself across all of these platforms and spreading my energy really, really thin. So I want to give you this exact advice that I give to myself. Yeah. Running a business takes a lot of things, a lot of happenings behind the scenes. So don't overcomplicate it any more than it needs to be. Yeah. You don't need to do that. You don't need to give yourself more jobs because you think that that's going to be the definition of success. You just need to learn how to work smarter, not harder. And adding more platforms out of the belief that you have to is not going to be the way to grow. So here's your permission to tap back into your heart space. Yeah. Tap back into that heart space and know, like, what is it that you want to do? How do you want to show up? What does your energy sustain? Yeah, because growing another platform or, tapping into another platform is going to require another level of you. Maybe you don't have that capacity right now. Maybe you have the capacity later on. To give an example, like I'm wanting to shift a lot of things within the business. There's a lot of things happening behind the scenes because I'm forward predicting like what I want to actually do. And there's a couple of really, really exciting things that I really want to like do. And I'm so excited to share with you, but I'm not going to drop it in just yet. But knowing what I've got planned and what I want to do means that whatever the business structure I'm creating right now needs to allow me that freedom and flexibility to be able to bring this new stuff that I want to bring to the table. And so, how do you get to shift and make things work and mold for you in your business so that you can continue to grow and scale and do the things that light you up and that are in so much alignment with who you are as a woman, as a feminine leader in this world? Like, how do you want to show up in this world? And so just really learn to trust yourself, really learn to just be you. Like, be you, babe. I can't express that enough. Like, lean into just owning yourself. You're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. And the quicker that you can accept that, the more you're going to lean into being you. Yeah, you don't actually have to be everyone's cup of tea. That's not the goal here. The goal is to be your most truest, authentic self so that you can attract like-minded people into your field. So just to tie all of this up and wrap a beautiful bow on it, do it your way. If you want to be across all platforms because it feels good, amazing. If you don't, then don't. There's your permission. If this episode landed for you, please come and let me know. I'd love to hear. If you want to hear more of this kind of stuff, if there's other things that you want me to bring on, like I really, really cherish your feedback. I really do. I want to make sure that I'm supporting you in the most divine way possible. I'm here to serve. So if there's something that you want me to talk on, a topic that you want me to talk on, personal or business, bring it to me. Yeah, bring it to me. Come and let me know in my DMs, email me. There's a few different ways in the show notes that we can connect. So please let me know. Otherwise, thank you, babe, for tuning on in. It's been an honor once again. I love you dearly, and I will chat to you so, so soon. Bye for now.